Hi, I'm Brendan Fehr.
And I'm Majandra Delfino. A decade or two ago,
Closer to 3, really.
a while back, we starred in the cult hit WB show Roswell.
And while we are in fact ex-co-stars, we are also actual exes. In real life.
Boyfriend and girlfriend exes.
Unnecessary clarification. But welcome to the ExFiles, where we analyze all things Roswell. Episodes, co-stars, guest stars, and all the goings-on in front of the camera and behind the scenes.
In our probe, we may or may not agree, we may or may not get along, but if our history is any indication, we will most certainly dig up old stuff from the past and throw down. With guests, old and new, weighing in on who was right and who was wrong.
Oh, if we remember it, we're going to talk about it.
And if we don't remember, it's all good, because I kept my teenage diary to cross-reference, corroborate, confirm.
Wait, what?
Correct. So be prepared to pick a side.
Your actual diary, like, for real.
Having a change of heart?
More like a change of underwear.
Welcome
To the X-Files.
Okay. 1,
Two.
2, 3. Oh, hold on. I thought
Where's
you
your
were...
hands?
Yeah, there's... Hold on. Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, those meaty paws just got right in the... Look at like that move. Jeez. I like just...
How are you?
You could really, really like threaten someone. Like when I do this, no one's afraid. Oh, just watch out. That's lights out. That's a coma.
How are you?
I am pretty good. How are you?
I think I'm... Yeah, I think I'm good.
Jeez.
Life is, doing what it wants, but this is fun. I like this. Oh. Oh, I like coffee. I like tea.
Oh man. Oh.
Journal entry. Not to
Like as if I
not
was
to get
that
ahead of
kind of girl.
ourselves, but do we have anything juicy on that side coming up at some point for this particular episode?
Oh, for this particular episode. Yeah, this was we'll get into it later, but it's pretty funny. There's a real just conscious sort of trying to pull it together and not make life so much about my boyfriend.
Oh. Okay.
But I'm going to wait for our guest so that I can read it and in front of them.
Okay.
So that they'll weigh in because it's
Right.
pretty funny.
This week's episode.
Yeah.
We're going to refer to our Bible, the world of Roswell. Is that what the fuck it's called? Yeah. Crash into me.
This week's episode, we cover Viva Las Vegas.
Yes.
And we always refer to our trusty little handbook, Crash Into Me, the World of Roswell by Robin Burnett.
See how hard ours are sometimes?
The World of Roswell. The Paranormal of Roswell.
That was maybe the most unattractive thing I've ever seen you do for some odd reason. That was horrifying, speaking of
now you know
double
how
L's.
I feel when you talk.
Wow.
Brendan has some problems with R's. It's tough because he's got one in his name. Mahara?
But Brendan, that's fine. But it's
You're checking to see whether you can say your own name.
Checking to see if I can. That is my name. Just checking in with myself sometimes.
Anyway, Crash Into Me, the World of Roswell by Robin Burnett is our go-to for referencing episodes, what they were about, when they shot, because we need a little reminder. And then we also reference my teenage diary from the time.
Original air date.
Oh, yeah. Talk to me.
Original air date, February 26, 2001. Written by Gretchen Berg and Aaron Harberts.
That is 6 days after my birthday. I just turned 20.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, born in 81.
Yeah, that would be it.
And that's when you were like, oh, too old for me. Broke up with me.
She's out. Me and Leo. Guest cast. Who really cares? Michael and the gang head to Las Vegas to spend the Dupree money. Yeah, so Michael has. Where did I get that in the Duprees though? Was it willed to me, or did we find it? Not.
I think Lori made sure you got a little nugget.
Lori made sure. Okay,
I
but
would
yeah,
like
we head
to
to Vegas because Michael's
Oh.
having
What
freakouts.
happens when I try to take an initiative?
Wait,
Go
what?
ahead. Well, first of all,
Oh.
you're already skipping over my first note, which was me having to do these intros. Finally, they recognize who needs a talk show out of this bunch.
I will say, the intro. Remember the table read. We did do a table read for every episode,
Mhm.
and I remember this was we're season 2, and we're a little over halfway, the 15th episode of season 2. And I remember this, and I was like, ooh, it felt like a big change where you change the structure. Every show has a structure, and we had the journal entries of Liz that we eventually abandoned, which kind of felt like, oh, we're getting away from that. Whenever they make a big change like that, you think, uh-oh, we're in trouble, and we're trying to bail ourselves out. Like the show's not working, or the exec said something, or the network, or whatever else. You're trying to, I don't know, change it up a little bit.
And for those like at home, not in the biz, it needs to be said that it is such a constant state of insecurity, a constant state of being canceled, of being like actually canceled, like when shows are canceled, of being fired, of being underutilized, all these things, and also being in a show that is not the show you originally signed up for. And already season 2, we were like, whoa, what is this show becoming? And I'm sure Jason Katims felt the same way, but everyone had to kind of bow to the notes of the network, and this is the direction they wanted to go in. So that was already a shock. Season 2, the change.
Yeah, I mean, we almost got canceled after season 1. We don't know if we're going to be picked up again.
We
and
then it's like a kind of a different show.
Second season. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they start doing these intros. Now, listen, did I shine? Of course.
I mean,
no,
in my notes.
No, but
hold on. In my
was
notes,
not happy about it.
I have, it says Las Vegas, and then my first note is hair on point. That referring to me.
Of course.
I have Isabel Dicey because they were like super tight curls. But my second note is Majandra, cuter than ever.
Oh.
That's my second note. You did shine. I actually
In
liked
the intros?
What?
Oh, okay. In the intros, interesting. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, in the
listen.
intros, I remember at the time I was a little, again, concerned, like just all those thoughts run in your head. So I was like, is this a good idea? What are we doing? What's going on with this show? This seems like we're catering or pandering.
Yeah.
And maybe we were. I don't know. Maybe the show was getting too confusing for some, and that was some network note, and we needed a better rundown of stuff or a more creative one. But in the end, looking back, I really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I thought
I mean, I was like, somebody
shine or shoned.
I
shined.
shaned. Put me, where's Regis? You know what I mean? That's what I thought when I saw it. I said, give this girl a talk show.
Yeah, and this is one of the episodes that they either work or they don't. You take all the characters out of that world, right? Whether it's wherever the world is, and we go to Vegas. And my initial thoughts when we chose to do this episode was it was going to be awful and cheesy and not a good episode. I was not looking forward to this one. And I was wrong. I thought this was a really fun one.
Yeah. Okay, I have a note here. It says Michael's in a full panic. I'm not sure what that means, but I think the way this show started, he was in a full panic.
Yeah, in the beginning, yeah.
Yes. And I said, I definitely agree that a road trip to get the cobwebs out is a thing. And then I wrote Spanx Lady, because the woman who created Spanx feels, and I feel she's right, that when you take like a trip, a car ride, things like that, it sort of loosens the old cobwebs. Some new thoughts can come through.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, Michael just wanted a bro trip. It was hard to watch someone's plan get so hijacked. It like honestly made me mad. Like I was feeling rage at everybody just inserting themselves.
Yeah, but I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought, for me personally, I always speak from I liked what I did. I kind of almost impressed myself. I know Majandra always says I look on the bright side. This is going to be the
most consistent thing from this podcast.
I know, but
I'm not saying I didn't like what you did. I'm just saying
that but then I liked the way that it was hijacked, and and he ends up, putting Michael in those situations where things don't go his way is the best. You get the best stuff out of him.
No,
because he's got to have that.
But he was so much nicer, I think, than I would have been if that started to happen to my trip. I wrote here, your loving sister comment from Isabel to Max felt poignant. It felt interesting knowing that they were dating. And then I wrote here, in the Spanish class, the woman goes, "Donde está Felipe?" And that felt hurtful as a person who had a dog named Felipe.
What is it? Donde what?
Donde está Felipe? Like, where is Felipe? And I was like, what a great question. Where is Felipe? But
there's no dog in there. You just had a dog named Felipe.
I had a dog named Felipe who fell off the stairs and broke his neck.
I love Michael doing the Spanish. How did I pull that off? Coño, something? I don't know what I said.
Coño, necesito pongo.
Yes,
remember when Nick used to do that?
Pongo!
Nick. Then I did write Maria hanging on Michael when she finds out about the trip. She has such CEO energy meets overly affectionate abuela.
All right. Fair enough.
It's so true. Like, she's just so like, beep, 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 and then also just something very like grandma-y to you.
Yeah. I mean, Michael does lay down the law with the names, right? The classic names, and then basically says, stay the fuck out of our way. Me and Max are gonna do this thing.
But like, you're paying for their entire trip, the room. It just.
But I had to get rid of that. The whole thing because in the episode he says you can't build a future on that because the money's tainted. So it's that darkness. He's just kind of get rid of it, have some fun with it, but it's clearly haunting him, and so I don't think he minds, giving them all that money to do it, because it's that's the cathartic thing, is just to
right. I see. Yeah.
So,
he took it well.
Yeah, it's not like it's it's his own paycheck from the security job, or I don't know what job he was working at this point.
But once Tess was like, "I'm coming," I was like, "Oh my God, too much!
Off. Come on, easy.
Stop it."
Exactly.
Draw a line.
I have a note here at the 21 minute 10-second mark of sorts. Colin is playing piano while you're singing, and it is so delightful to watch him play piano. The way he was doing it, there's just this like joy. I just laughed out loud because it was so like pure and wholesome, and I just got a complete kick out of it. And for just a small little clip of, does he play piano? Was he miming it? I mean, it was probably pre-recorded, but
I think he was miming. Yeah.
But does he actually? I don't know if he does.
Oh, in real
Seems
life,
like he could.
Know. I think probably. He seems like a very musical.
It was just. I don't know. It spoke to me. I was just really like, that is someone you need to protect.
Yeah, at all costs, and yet we get him killed. And invite the very person who killed him to the trip. I don't know where and why I wrote this, but I wrote, Michael is incredible. You think Maria was who he had sex with first? Please. This guy lost his virginity in the alley of a bar. in the alley of a bar to his foster father's side piece. She thought he was adorable and did it as a favor.
What a...
I know. I just like channeled, you know.
What were you? These notes are... Were you on an allergy pill when you...
No, just folding laundry.
Just
you know, it came to
laundry.
me. And you can tell the way I wrote it that I'm angry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lost his virginity in the
Why are
alley
you
of
angry?
a bar to his foster father's side piece.
Side piece. Hank's side piece.
Hank's side piece.
I wonder what she would look like.
And I wonder who his main piece was.
Yeah. You almost have to have a main piece to have a side piece.
Yeah, you have to. That's what a side piece is.
But he doesn't have
right?
a main piece.
Well, that we know of.
Interesting. Well, why were you so angry? Why?
I don't know.
What is...
I think I just, something in the way Michael was treating Maria, I was like, fuck this guy. Got real mad. Oh, you know what it was? It just hit me. It was when he was gambling and just flirting with all the ladies. I was like incensed, just so pissed.
Oh,
yeah. It's like he's gonna have sex with one of these women. Meanwhile, it's a teenage show. It's okay.
I used some powers here that I didn't remember having. I changed the IDs. I load the dice.
It's wild.
Right? And then
again,
in summer of 47, I light his fucking cigarette with my thumb.
And you changed the drink.
The drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, wild.
Very interesting what they choose to do and not do, these kids. It's teens for you. The youth wasted on the young,
But I thought this was a really fun. These, like I said, these can go super awry and just seem super cheesy. And I thought, in the end, we really did something. Yeah, I have what were these powers Michael used, and then I have this, and I don't recall. Who's little Sally? That's my note. Who's little Sally?
And no allergy pill for you either, right?
No.
Who is little Sally?
Who's little? That's what I still need to know.
Oh God, this is so fascinating. Was she in the elevator?
Who's little Sally?
Who's little Sally? Well, only time will tell. I wrote here, Maria is experiencing what I just learned is called a shadow vow, expecting Michael to want to come with her when this was his trip and he just wanted to let loose and not have to worry about things or deal with anything heavy or take care of anyone. Really going through it in this episode.
Yeah.
Those are real ups and downs, ins and outs, I
have more work on isolated stuff.
Like isolated dancing, like
pop lock.
Yeah. Oh, I wrote, felt so bad for the best man with a square jaw. Nothing worse than knowing you are playing the hunky guy. And find people struggle. And I find that people struggle big time holding back that insecurity, and it's so true.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? Where you have to be like handsome guy, and you're like, am I talking handsome? It's the worst.
That was Dave, the best man. I have Tracy Bride, Dave, best man is what I have here. I don't know. Is that true?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. My notes are, I don't know. They were late at night. Getting shot. What is getting shot? Does anyone get shot in this episode? Let's go to the gun, desire to bond with Max, irresponsible, flight. Takes a closer look at the dysfunctional relationship between Maria and Michael. Michael brushes her off while she puts him down. Michael does something sweet. Oh, wait, this really is not a breakdown of these episodes. We watched them and then we totally forget we're like, the worst.
Yeah, we're like, what was that?
Wait, but do you sing in this? Yeah, you sing, right? In the end.
Yeah, I sing in the end. I sing when I do the audition.
Yeah, I do something sweet. That's good. That's a good Michael thing.
You do something sweet.
And what song do you sing?
Like an Ella Fitzgerald song.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I wrote here, thought I was too fat to wear the dress. I remember at the time, because, Spanx didn't exist, and I was like, oof, this is tough. And now I look back and I think, looks like I was on Ozempic,
No, you look great.
Should have enjoyed the time.
I mean,
instead.
you really, yeah.
Oh, then I also wrote, I'm still trying to figure out why sometimes my nose flares a la Ryan Gosling and why it doesn't. You have the same thing too. Sometimes, you act with like a flared nose, flared nostril.
I had a sound guy tell me once that I exhale at the end of my lines a lot, which means that I'm not breathing when I'm saying them, which isn't great. It means that I'm holding my breath and I'm not really breathing. Then I go kind of at the end. Like I always have a sigh there.
Max, we gotta go. Like that. Was that also unattractive?
Napoleon Dynamite 4.
Yeah.
Max, we gotta go. just fat obese guy.
But yeah, we do a lot of like nasal flare acting, you and I.
Well, you know how I feel about my nasal. I feel like I have a very nasal, like I'm.
I didn't even mean vocal quality. I mean,
no,
like
I know,
like,
but the whole thing.
Like we're very, like bulls, like
very self-conscious.
Maybe that
about
was the attraction, the link.
Maybe
both genetically knows. Yeah.
Let's see what IMDb rates this episode.
Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you a note where I said Hanson's cakes are the best. This is when I first met Hanson cakes.
Yes, I remember this.
Yeah, changed my life.
Here we go.
I also wrote, Isabel and Dave is the creepiest thing. I would have quit acting.
You are just a monster. You are so vicious.
I have a hard time with having to like get touched by strangers and like kiss a strange man that you've just met.
I mean,
golly. They had to touch so much. I would have quit acting.
It's true. This is surprising.
Oh, and then I wrote, but I did respect that Isabel thinks she wants romance, but really, she just wanted a bone. I respect that.
You get it all here. You get a little insight into Majandra's.
Yeah.
What do you think it was rated?
Oof.
IMDb.
6.9.
No.
Oh.
7.2. One of the lower rated episodes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Seems the ones you like, not so great. I'm kidding.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say. I thought it was...
Oh, another thing I wrote that I thought was interesting. Another shadow vow, quote unquote. Liz wanting Max to say that he'd never want to have a Vegas wedding. Or Max not wanting to say he'd never want to have a Vegas wedding. It upsets her. It upsets her that he doesn't know that in the future they have a Vegas wedding. And it like hurts her feelings. And I'm like, how would he know this?
No, but you could still have your feelings hurt. Because when you know more and then because, that's going to happen, right? Like she knows.
Right. So it's like, oh, okay, well, he'll definitely be changing his mind because I actually know we will end up having, so it's like, why we all like,
don't think there's
it's
still
very, I'm mad at you because you cheated on me in my dreams. It's very that to me.
Right. But there's still teenagers and that insecurity and the love of your life. Everything is very big at that age. And
oh, I know.
And, but I get it. I see what you're saying. Oh, is that a moth? Ooh.
Then I just wrote sparkle jacket, and that's about you.
I have a sparkle jacket?
Yeah. You are wearing like a velvet blazer that has glitter in it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what? Yeah.
Wish you would have kept that.
Me too. Suits.
You just get a velvet blazer and kind of sprinkle some glitter on it from the crafts. Exactly. The glitter bomb.
Totally. Wild.
Oh.
Well, I am let's now that we've broken that down in totality to the highest degree, which is what everyone expects on these things.
Wait, I just have one last closing note on the
please.
episode. It says, Michael's a dog. He looks at the girls. The end.
Well, on that note, would you like to I'm very excited, and I'm going to let you introduce the guest, but this was a
very exciting guest.
Yeah, this was a real treat to get, because there is not a lot in terms of quantity of history with this person.
Ooh, but it's quality.
But the qualitative aspect is through the roof. And I'm just really hoping that we can get into it all, because I have so many questions.
Yes.
About how it was perceived on the other side.
From their point of view. Yeah. This person was there during the greatest of times. The most
There's a reason we chose
years.
Vegas, because kind of for what we are going to be addressing with this person, it's kind of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas of sorts. And pretty, I guess it is debaucherous, right?
Yeah, we have our next guest is the opposite of debaucherous, and yet we had put her in our youth in a very compromising situation, and she was there to witness so many of these goings on between Brendan and I, and is just an absolute delight. A singer, songwriter, actor, producer, director.
Yeah.
It's the lovely Mandy Moore.
I mean, I suppose we should just kind of get into did you watch? You were given an episode? Did you watch?
I was given an episode.
Did you get through?
I watched probably 3/4 of it. I'm going to be totally honest with you. And I was exhausted last night, and I started falling asleep.
I can't believe you made it through 3/4.
Listen. Yeah.
Wait,
that's very impressive.
Well done.
Can we talk though? Like truly? I was like,
yes,
I have not, no, just kidding. I had not seen an episode of the show before. So this was my first foray into the world of Roswell. And I was so blown away by how beautiful everybody is on the show, how sophisticated the show is. Like truly, I was like, wow, this was a show for teens, but like there was just such a level of sophistication, a sense of humor, a sort of a nod and a wink, if you will, like all of that. I was just like, wow, this does not feel like what I would have expected from a late 90s, early aughts teen show. Yeah, I was just like, this is...
Yeah, that. But then looking back, I think we both, at least I certainly worried that it was just, silly and very early aughts.
But you got a good episode, though.
Yeah, you did.
It was great. I was like, oh, you guys got a good...
Oh, because we watched them all beforehand as well.
Yeah,
and when you watch yourself, you're just like, what is going on here? What was I thinking? How was this a cult hit? Like, this is... and so, there are like in every, there's going to be your favorites. You're going to have some really great runs and, some great storylines and episodes. And then
sure,
you have ones that you don't particularly like and all that. One of the previous ones we did, I watched it and I was just like, this was the most boring thing.
He didn't have a very big part in it. So
no,
he was very upset.
So it was a completely flat
and he
episode,
didn't like
you're
his
saying.
hair.
It was it lacked any sense.
It didn't lack that pizzazz.
Exactly.
I mean, thank you for watching that much. I mean, we really always say watch a minute, watch 0 minutes, watch all minutes, whatever calls you. And
Yeah, you made it through.
Yeah,
and with
that's
two little
very
ones and you're
impressive.
tired, we get it. So we love it.
Yeah. It was
But
a
that
little
was,
late for me, but God, I really enjoyed it. I was blown away. Like I said, also, I was just blown away at how beautiful everybody was too. I'm like, geez, Louise, like the camera loved each and every one of you.
Oh,
so congratulations.
That's youth right there. That's got to be you. Thanks,
Yeah.
Mandy.
It still
we
loves
were
you.
definitely we were not a WB show. We were a show for Fox, and then the WB picked it up. So they didn't do that like WB casting, and so we definitely there was a bit of a pressure to like sort of step up in the looks department. I don't know if you felt that, Brendan.
But I also
you probably felt you were already there. You know?
I also feel that because this was one of the last foray before digital cameras, so it was film.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And everyone, if you remember, like everyone got their rehearsal. The actors got their rehearsal. We blocked it out. Sound got their rehearsal in terms of,
Wow.
like it felt more like a craft. Everything nowadays feels a little bit run and gun. Keep the cameras rolling. You don't really have to be prepared. You're not wasting film. And, get as much as you can. Point the camera and shoot. We'll fix it in post because,
we'll paint it
digital, you
out
can
of it,
color,
yeah.
you can do this. You can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do kind of, which is great in some respects, but this was still the time when it was like, it was film and it was expensive and it was important. And
especially because every other show is also on film.
Yeah.
Now,
no,
we did pick this episode,
just cutting me
Mandy.
off. That's it. That's
because he will just go on about his lighting experience.
We're moving on.
It's so fascinating, but that's the other podcast. So what I was going to say is that, okay, so we, as you know, I have a journal that correlates with every episode in the sense of what's going on date wise. I have the one journal I didn't burn by accident. Is just from this time, just for shooting Roswell, which is such a weird coincidence. There are spells of silence where I don't write a thing. But we do try to kind of keep things in conjunction with what we're watching. And sadly for my teenage self, there are a lot of entries that do correspond. This one, we believe, because we're trying to get the timing right, we believe that right before filming this particular episode that you saw, we celebrated a very good friend's birthday.
Oh, got it. Got it.
Okay, and we're not sure, but we're almost like, wait a minute, this has to be the time because we can't figure out when we shot. We can only see when things were aired. So we kind of went back in time. And it feels also very appropriate because Vegas sort of scandally, whatever. And what I am alluding to.
You do recall, right, Mandy?
Do you remember that birthday gone wrong?
Gone terribly awry. Hold on, let me turn this sound off on my phone of my child crying in the background. Let's see. Yes. If my memory serves, I'm going to say it was like the Sunset Strip, right? No? Am I off?
No,
it
was at Mahoney's house.
Even worse, Mandy. This is even
Wait,
worse.
no, tell me. Why am I not remembering this? I thought you guys were going to bring up the time that Wilmer surprised me and sang that song in front of everybody. Remember? I thought you were totally going to bring that up.
Oh my God. Wait, Mandy, when is your birthday?
My birthday is coming up. It's the 10th of April. But I thought you were going to bring that up, like going to like the surprise of the most uncomfortable moment of my life. The most awkward.
Do you remember this, Brennan? Because I remember, by the way, this goes hands down as one of the most uncomfortable things in my life. And he wasn't even singing at me. Like it was.
Oh my God.
For everybody out there, we didn't I wasn't anyways, like I saw Mandy, I saw you, I hung out with you because of the Wilmer connection is how we met and whatever else.
But we have all these traumatic birthdays under our belt.
But what's funny is you were around as little as we did, we didn't hang out all the time, very little actually.
Brendan's upset you never called him for a one-on-one,
Sorry, man.
I was around for coffee.
It's fine.
I was right there on the Paramount line.
This is my therapy. We're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it now.
You can't see it, but there's just tears.
One single tear
to spill over. Exactly.
No, but you were around for two like big moments that I will never forget and like will never go like out of my head, which is really interesting
memories.
given the fact that we probably hung out 10 times.
A handful of times. Yeah, for
a handful of times. Yeah.
Yeah. And should we let's not keep who wants to
I feel like you guys need to, because I'm not remembering.
Sure, but let me just, I feel like we're keeping Mandy and all our
okay, go.
listeners
okay,
in
okay.
suspense.
So this is a journal entry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is just a like what was going on. As far as like journal entry wise, we were always very back and forth, Brendan and I, up and down, but we did always know how to come together for our friends, and it was his birthday, and for whatever reason, I don't know why, we were like, this needs to be a surprise party. So. So it was, I still lived at
Majandra
home.
is the queen of she's the best party thrower ever.
Says party of one says you're always having a great time, but everyone else is not. You're like, this is amazing. But anyway, so it was a really small thing. I'm at my mom's house. I have Brendan come over, you and Wilmer, our friend Dawn, and who was bringing? Someone was supposed to bring, not tell him, but bring him to my house.
But
to,
he had his other buddies. He had the other buddies there. He had Wilmer, and then
Jason. What was his name? Jason?
Yeah, the other. Anyways, I don't think it was that small. I think it was a little bigger than you.
No, it was pretty small. Meaning it wasn't like
it wasn't a blowout.
A waitress.
So it was not a blowout at all. And I had hired someone to pass like hors d'oeuvres and drinks, right?
Wow.
But she was not really, there as a caterer or a server. She was a stripper. And she shows up, first of all, in like a stained shirt, which was so unfortunate.
He's got a white white V-neck and jeans on. I remember.
Ton of food on, and he's got like these sandals on. It was just such a look where I was like, oh God, leave it to a guy friend not to say to him like, hey man, you want to put like a nice sweater on or something. So he pulls in this woman who I thought, in my like naive mind, I don't know, I think I thought more of like a burlesque show or something. I don't know. This girl shows up and she's like so teeny tiny, so young. And I'm thinking, okay, fine, like whatever. She ends up, Mandy, stripping in a way.
Well,
of doing things, guys.
Yeah, but this is going to get a little X-rated. So, but I want to start. So we're all at the party.
Mandy, you leave.
Yeah,
you
left.
Like, why do I remember this?
You bailed. Because we started you. We were like, I think we just fucked up. We're like, I think we just fucked up Mandy Moore. Like, this is bad.
We're like, guys, we fucked up Mandy. I'm like, I'm fucked up. Like, we were all like, it was so okay. So the minute she starts taking her clothes off,
we gotta start earlier.
Okay.
We gotta start earlier.
Just so you know, in case you're like, I don't remember this like raunchy thing. It's because you did the right thing and you stepped outside during the show. You took a step outside like you're supposed to.
So Majandra, this is Mahandra's idea. So Majandra, then I get to the party and she points out the waitress and she's like, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, there's drinks and there's food or whatever else. Nick Wexler, obviously from the show and whatever, the man, the myth, the legend, comes up to me and he's like, I think I got a crush on that waitress. I really like her. And I'm like, Nick, this is
not the one.
Please don't. But we can't say anything. Right. And I'm just like, oh, Nick. And he's like, no, I think, and he's so sweet and he's so earnest and he's always wanted like, nice relationships and he treats, and I'm just like, oh man, this is going to break. This is bad. And I'm just like, just give it a little time. Let's figure out let's see what happens. So, so now we got one of our buddies who's got a crush on the waitress, who's a stripper. We sit down in a chair. I remember.
And I'm going to just interrupt and tell you, it was truly very few people. I got to go get the pictures. It's uncomfortable how few people there were. I don't want to say you could hear a pin drop, but it was like,
she sits in the chair He sits her. We sit in the chair, and it's going to be a happy birthday. And I think waitress comes out. Her big bouncer guy like steps in the door because she had a bouncer there, like to protect her.
Whoa!
And she rips off his shirt, and he got so mad because like she ripped his like white t-shirt, like it was, and like he immediately was like, "What is going on?" Did she not take off his belt and hit him with it?
She took off his belt, Mandy, and proceeded to start just like whipping him. And basically, when the bouncer stepped in, that's where I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it was. And I think I also did this. I think I found her through production. You know what I mean? So I thought it was going to be like, and
pretty tame.
All of a sudden, yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden it becomes like, this is not a jokey thing. This is a very serious thing.
So he's mad. He's not even enjoying any of this. His shirt's ripped. He's been whipped with his own belt. And she proceeds to, she gets up, she lays him.
She's not enjoying it, and everyone's horrified. And Mandy, you're already outside.
But he's not enjoying it. This whole thing is a complete nightmare. We're looking at you because you were younger than the rest of us.
Yeah, I was like 16. I was like, this is not for me.
Yeah, I remember so well, Mandy, you were wearing this beautiful big skirt, like this. It was like a very full skirt, like past the knee. And when it was, like immediately when it was apparent that she was going to start stripping, you just kind of like pressed the skirt down and you were like, yeah, I'm going to go outside, and just like did the right thing, went outside. And then like Wilmer went and got you once she was done. And the energy change of the room, I'm sure, was insane from how you left it to when you came back in, because everybody was like scarred.
Well, her finishing move.
Because her finishing move, I mean, if it wasn't bad enough.
Outrageous.
She took a dollar bill and folded it and made him lie down.
Like long ways, like
this, like made him lie down on his back. She laid it down down the length of his face on his nose.
No.
Bent over him, yes. And picked it up without her hands.
She didn't use her hands to pick it up off his face.
You guys.
And that was it. Oh. We have never been the same.
I'm scarred just listening to it 20 years later.
I know. And thank God you walked outside. I felt so personally responsible that I had to stay inside.
You were absolutely personally responsible. I mean, it was.
I mean, but who would have known?
Really.
Who would have known? And
that would go
did
that
not
far.
Have the effect. I think we were all changed people.
Yeah, he was.
And that crew was so sweet. No one needed to see that.
I mean, it really were. We were not debaucherous people of any, like, the drinking was super limited. No one drank. Like,
there was drinking.
We had our Monopoly nights. You know what I mean? Like, that's what Monopoly. We did with Topher and Wilmer. We would go play Monopoly.
Yeah.
What I love, though, is that this was maybe a couple months after that glorious night of your birthday.
Yeah, my song, my special song.
Your special song. Wasn't it also very few people in the room?
Yeah, gosh, you guys have a real knack for like keeping these very special moments very intimate. It was
Where
wild
was this
how
again?
few people. This was on Sunset. So this was like at that weird coffee shop that's like, or weird, I don't know what it was, like across the street from
oh my God.
Like the Chateau. Yes. Do you remember?
Across from the Chateau. Yeah, it was like a tea room.
Yes. And I just vaguely remember too. It was like a coffee shop or something. Maybe it was called the coffee shop. Maybe it's still there. I want to say there was like a magazine stand outside. And
yes.
It's like right on Sunset. Yes. And I just remember walking into that room and you guys were all there. It was also sort of a surprise, I want to say. The details are fuzzy because this was like over 20 years ago.
It was a surprise for all of us.
Oh, you didn't know that there was a musical number?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Wilmer proceeded to sing this like original song that he wrote for me.
Original song is so sweet. I mean, there's nothing else to call it, but yes.
Yes, it is an original song,
It was an
OG
original
song.
piece of music. And he just like looked me dead in the eyes while singing it to me. And
have
I
to tell you,
appreciated
too.
it, but I was so mortified because I hate being the focus of any sort of attention, and that like direct funneling of all of his attention. And therefore I felt like the entire room was also looking at me to gauge what my reaction was.
It
Was
definitely
one of the most
people
uncomfortable
watching.
moments of my life. Oh yeah. I was just like, how do I get out of this?
I totally forgot.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was
about
so
that.
uncomfortable, Mandy. I remember leaving and like asking myself some big questions after that, you know? Just like
Namely why Brendan
how-
hadn't written you a song
Look, where's your original song?
performed it in front of your nearest and dearest.
You got no passion, fucker. It's like,
Well, also like to have someone sing in it just to put you in that position is wild, and then to
just
have
straight
someone
a cappella.
sing- yes,
Like-
and with such conviction and earnestness.
Yeah.
But like it felt like something like farcical, you know, it was so wild. And we all
Yeah,
had to,
it's like you didn't know whether to laugh at it or just sort of be astonished.
but you couldn't because
No, of course.
like you're gonna
because he was very serious about it.
he 100% sincere. There was no
Yeah.
like that's the way he. I mean, you know, that's why we love him.
Listen,
Yeah,
if him and I
totally.
weren't from the exact same country, I would never imitate his accent. But he really did. He was like, Majandra, I've written her this song, like when he called to invite. And I was like, oh, I cannot miss this. But for some reason, I imagined it to be a little bit more like on a stage, like not so like where you can hear him taking breaths in between. You know, it was so intimate.
I do
And
remember, though,
I-
also receiving a CD copy of it afterwards that I did listen to many a
Yes.
time.
Mandy, I remember that so well. Yes.
We need to hear this. You need
Gotta
this needs to
find
be.
it.
You
I
have
might
to
have
have
to
it.
see if he.
Man, I mean,
God, I mean, again, guys, we're talking like 23 years ago. It's got to be somewhere. There's got to be some sort of documentation of it. I've got to find my old Discman and my like, you know, the
Wait,
fold
what
out
if
like with all the
it's-
CDs.
so
Oh,
like,
I mean, you can't.
The classic.
like,
The CD
I know
book
you're not
holder,
supposed
yeah.
to text and drive and all that stuff,
yeah, exactly.
but we were putting like 6 CDs in our CD changer,
Going down the
like
freeway.
off the
Yeah.
like we were doing so much more shit than texting. And it
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
didn't-
especially if
wasn't
you were
really
so
with the CD
distracted.
changes.
Oh, yeah. So distracted.
And if you had to have it
reaching
in
the
the right
back
one
seat
with
for
the
the big
book.
album and bringing it out.
Exactly.
Crazy.
But it would be great if you found it and it was actually good. Like,
yeah.
he was just before his time.
He missed his calling.
Like, it's a real banger, or it's just like
Oh.
really beautiful. Yeah, like, what if, oh man, that was so uncomfortable. That
And
was like truly a core traumatic experience
Well,
for sure.
Just very uncomfortable. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I appreciated the intention and where it came from. And I mean, we know him and to know him is to love him. But yeah, that was,
100%.
but it's also just sort of like, you know, to be unaware of someone's love language. I mean, I know as teenagers, you're clearly not perceptive to that, but like he clearly just like missed all of the signs that something like that would have mortified me so deeply that like just doing it in private would have been better. But the fact that it was like in front of everyone was just beyond.
It's so interesting.
I still make
what
those
a
mistakes.
move.
I still don't get.
But that's, I think,
It's bold.
I wonder if it was anyone else, I'd say, I don't know that they were singing that song so much for you as they were doing that whole thing for themselves. I mean, it really was
Right.
sort of like he had to process, you know, I think he just wanted to shout it from the rooftops type of thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was-
Bless.
Well, this
so
was
close.
this was the other. You know, I mean, times past. I haven't, but the last time I believe I saw you, we were at the '70s show, and it was afterwards when we would all like hang out. We, you know what I mean?
Oh,
They would
yeah.
all go in the
Bowling and go to
Radford's.
Jerry's Deli. And yeah.
Yeah, we'd go to
Yeah.
Jerry's and we'd do all that. And I remember the show was over. We were all up in one of their dressing rooms and we used to rib each other all the time. And I guess, I don't know what I said, but I guess I went too far this one time. And Wilmer
was not happy. And
Really?
it was regarding, I think it was regarding you. I had made a comment, which was kind of innocuous, but you were his girlfriend and
You made
whatever. So he stood
Brendan
up
made
for
a
you.
comment
Like it was,
about, oh, you made a comment about Mandy? Oh,
How
I don't think,
dare
no,
you.
not
I
a
thought it was
bad,
about
like
Wilmer.
nothing.
how dare
I know.
you? I mean,
No, but it was joking. But anyways, he didn't like the way this was going. There's a couple different takes on it. But the last time I saw it, so he stood up to me and he was very mad. And I basically was just like, dude, go fuck yourself. I'm done. And walked out of his trailer. And we haven't spoken. We've said hi. We've ran into each other once since, but that was the end of my relationship with Wilmer.
What?
He got mad at me, and I just went, you're fucking out of your mind, and like left, and that was it. And it was over.
That's so sad.
It's so hard too to get in a fight with Wilmer. I know.
Yeah,
it's very
that was the
sad.
last time I saw you, and I just walked out. I was just like, I'm not doing it anymore. And obviously, we're adults now, and if we saw each other, it would
Water under the bridge. Sure,
we
sure.
hug
Wow,
and
that's
whatever
so
else. Well, yeah, water under
wild.
the bridge. But that was the last time. Yeah, and I never hung out with him again. That was it. That was, I mean, but Majandra knows. When I cut people, like
when he cuts you, man.
I was.
It's a
out.
miracle
it.
I'm here, Mandy. You know.
It's a miracle this podcast
I will say,
exists.
last time I saw Wilmer, exactly. I'm like,
It's
this
so
is how
true.
we're working it out, you know. But last time I saw him was a really long time ago. It was your birthday dinner, and I was pregnant with with Cecilia, my daughter, the oldest one, and he like got on his knees, Mandy. Do you remember
And kissed
this?
your
He, like,
stomach.
Did he sing you a
caressed my
song?
belly, and he just started kissing my belly, Brendan, on his knees.
God
And
bless him.
David was like,
He's
you
like-
know, who's
Who is this person?
David?
I had to.
I know, no. And David had never met him before. And David was like, you know what? He's got a great energy. And like thought it was just fine. And he was
Oh,
like licking my belly button. I mean, no, he was just very like giving it like Wilmer blessings, you know, but it was a moment where I was like, this could look weird. I don't know with him. You know what I mean? You're just like, it's fine. It's just, he really is a
Because
very,
it's so
very
deeply
sweet soul.
genuine. Yes.
Yes.
He's like,
100%.
he's the loveliest and he's so loyal. And it's like, you know, I'm sure even though he hadn't
So
seen you in like
loyal.
a decade, was like, oh my gosh, this is my girl. We're from the same part of the
Yes,
world. Like
exactly.
you guys will always have that sort of
Exactly.
connection. Yeah.
And it's so funny too, Mandy, because my mom was the person, she was forced to come to some shoot with me that was like 1,000 teens. And towards the end of the shoot, I'd like lost her. She was like so uninterested. Towards the end, she was like, I want you to meet this kid that I think you love and will totally get along with. He's also from Venezuela. And it was Wilmer. She had like scouted Wilmer as a friend. And
Oh, sweet.
I was
Mom.
like, oh, like so freaked out because he's so suave, you know? And then I was like, no, he's just such a sweetheart.
yeah.
He's just,
what was? Wait,
Maybe this
we're
podcast
so
will
off
bring
top-
you guys
what is
back
it?
together.
I mean, totally. I mean, listen.
maybe that's what it's all meant to do.
I think, yeah. But getting off Wilmer for a
That's
second.
what it's pointing to.
And we all love him.
Like, how did this
Wait,
become
what does your
about
journal
Wilmer?
say?
Yeah.
We didn't even get to the journal.
Yeah. What does
Does
your
it say
journal
anything?
say?
So during this time in my journal, I had vowed to stop paying so much attention to Brendan.
Mm.
And to
She's
start
upheld it nicely.
Yep. There's things that we should not mention now that we're all adults and have children. But I say
Oh.
but enough about Brendan. I'm trying to make a point to stop talking about Brendan as much as I can. In fact, I'm gonna leave his trailer right now. I love him in the trailer. And then there's a slash
in the journal in the
in the trailer, and then there's a slash, and it says, "I am now in my trailer without him." And then I get into how I really want to be more professional and like really learn how to properly act. And I say, I really want to be a better actress, but obviously I don't do very good of a job working for it. I did emotion with detail only once! ! And that. Oh, and I say, and it was about the subject about a dad dying! ! Like, so it's clearly trying to pivot, you know, and like focus on professional matters, but like in his trailer, you know?
The matters of the
I'm gonna
heart
leave
won
this
over.
trailer
The matters of the heart.
now.
Why don't I do the emotion with detail and just use Brendan as my substitution?
Now, where did you guys shoot Roswell?
Paramount.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Melrose,
I
yeah.
know.
Yeah. And so, and
You
then
know what's so
Covina
funny?
for the-
We weren't allowed to
All the
leave
exterior stuff.
Paramount and like go to Larchmont. Yeah, exterior was Covina and Agua Dulce, and then everything else was Paramount. We really had it good, man.
But yeah, it was.
Oh, wow.
It really is a magical. Is it still magical? Like at your,
It's
you know,
still
at your
magical.
old age now. You know what?
At my old age, yes. It's very magical. I mean, you guys know it's like there's nothing like you never take for granted, like driving to work and like going through those gates and thinking like this is my job. Like I get to
Yeah.
spend my days here, and like this is the total dream. And there is something so storied and historical about that lot in particular. Like, yes, Sony's great
Totally.
and Universal's great, Warner Brothers and all of that, but like there's something about the history of what was done on that lot and just how small it is, and it just feels, I don't know, it feels like the most quintessential Hollywood, I think, of any of them.
I couldn't agree more. It's so true. You're like,
It's-
wow, this is Hollywood.
Yeah. How is it playing that dual?
Speaking of old age.
Well, no, because you go.
Old
She
age.
goes.
No,
You know.
I know. You can actually ask Mandy that, but
How is, you know, like, what is, speaking of, you know, emotion with detail, is that the process? Is that the process? You go,
Exclamation point.
still don't
Exclamation
know
point.
the process.
exclamation point.
Wait, let me leave the trailer.
I just want to be a part of all of these so I can hear all of your journal entries. They're just so sweet.
Her daughter found this, and right, that's the story, and was
because it had this really beautiful cover on it, like this very intricate leather, really cool. And so I think I thought it was just like a book. I don't know, but it didn't make it with the rest of the journals that I just got rid of. I was like, why am I hanging on to these things? And then when she was around like 4 or 5 years old, she was drawing in it. And I was like, what is that? Because I saw my handwriting in there, and then was like, oh my God, just thank God she couldn't read. But yeah, so it's just the
a time
wildest
capsule.
coincidence that, yeah, isn't that wild? And it's funny because it really is everything you'd imagine a teenage girl would write about under these circumstances. And it's also very almost comical. Like, I'm so mad at Brendan because he went on a date with Winona Ryder. Like, what? Things like that are just hilarious.
That's not,
Oh my
It's not
goodness. I
You
can't
just,
imagine.
you
need to
just
do this.
sit with that Winona Ryder moment over there, Brendan. You just
you
sit.
don't need to
No,
do
no,
that.
let's
right
let's
there
just
for a
wait a
little second.
couple more seconds. Let that sink in for everyone.
Winona
I will
Ryder.
say,
Okay.
when I was, speaking of like young, going back in the day, I was still living in Vancouver, and I remember being in my bedroom, laying in my bed. Majandra's like, I'm gonna cut him off.
Where's this
at
going?
some point. No, I got the script of no. It was it was my first heartbreak in the industry, I think, because I got the script for Walk to Remember.
Oh.
And I read it in my bedroom and cried. Like, and I wasn't like that guy yet or whatever else. Like, it didn't happen to me. And I was like,
Yet.
I need to, I want this. I need this. And it was the first, and obviously, great movie, whatever. But that I just remember.
Could have been better.
I
Been in it.
no, I'm joking. But I remember it was my first heartbreak in the business of not getting something that I absolutely fell in love with, so just as an aside. So
Oh,
God, but
man.
yeah, well, obviously you were acting. Well, sorry for your loss.
It's
So
not
sorry
that.
too.
I
We
think
would
I
have
would
been
have gone with Shane West, though.
long-term deep friends at this point then.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I felt
no.
that same way. And yeah, it's weird that's something you guys can relate to. It's like when you do a job and it continues to resonate with people, like decades later is wild. Like new generations of young people are finding that film and somehow still loving it and relating to it and all of that. So, I mean, much like why we're here doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And like, you have spoke the
So
most
Brendan-
highly of our show, of all our guests so far.
Really have.
Really? Come
So-
on. What are you talking about?
I mean,
It's
listen,
true. I mean, listen, look.
we yeah, you got a good episode, but I love that you enjoyed it, that you loved it.
Yes,
I wouldn't say
was
love.
really.
Let's not put words in your mouth.
Well, I very much enjoyed it. I feel like because I don't have the context of like really who everybody was, I did like a quick Wikipedia glance of like, okay, this is sort of the overarching like idea of what the show is. So I wasn't going in completely
Right.
blind, but I feel like had I had a little bit more context and maybe like a bit more, maybe seen another episode or two, I would have enjoyed it even more and definitely could have said that I loved it. But yeah, I just was really blown away by how sophisticated like the writing was, the way it was shot. And everybody was like, they were really good actors. I remember specifically like you and who was the lead guy on the show? You guys were like
Jason.
in the hallway. I think it was early in the episode. And you were both like scared about something. And I was just like, wow, it's really good. Like they're both like, it wasn't like schlocky teen writing, schlocky teen sort of, roll your eyes at like the acting and, the choices that people were making. I was like, wow, this like you guys were really grounded and engaged. And so, yeah, I definitely enjoyed watching it. And I understand
Oh, I
why
love
it
that.
took on this cult status and why it's something you guys are still so deeply connected to, years removed from it. It's like those projects, like they find a little special place in your heart and obviously in lots and lots of other people's hearts as well. But there's a reason for that. Like there was something, all of that to say, like, yes, watching it, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I get why this show has like, a lot of affection around it.
Yeah, we love it. I mean, we loved it. We loved making it, but it is kind of that cringy thing of watching yourself back and being like, oh God.
I didn't put two and two together that like our story about our friend and then Majandra auditioning in the episode unknowingly to be a stripper. You thought you were just trying to get your big
And-
break.
Unknowingly.
I didn't even put that together
Having-
until now. Like, oh
That was
yes, there's
Brendan.
another
He
stripper
had-
connection.
Put that together, and also the timing works as far as what was happening in real life. And gosh, I mean, I don't even think we realized that there was so much shared trauma because I completely put the earnest singing experience, I put that away.
That's really what I'm going to take from this. I had forgotten about that, and it was.
And I'd forgotten
absolutely-
about the stripper. Wow.
You were good.
I know.
Exactly. Well, I think
Well,
we've
thank
probably
you so much,
taken enough
Mandy,
of your
for
time.
taking your time away
This
from the
was
two
a
little cuties.
blast. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? To like
So
be able to go to
fun.
the deep recesses of my brain from like 1999, 2000. This is a treat.
I mean, what a time. What
mean,
What
a
a
time.
time to be alive. Yeah.
It's very kind of you to say.
Truly. Truly. We did it. Boy, did we do it.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Mandy.
Thank
and
you.
We will keep you posted on
Yeah,
the
good luck with the
outcome
rest of,
all
Yes,
this.
we'll,
all of
uh,
this. It's exciting. All right, guys. Have a
And,
good one.
We'll see you God knows where. All
I
right.
know.
All right.
I hope soon.
Thanks,
Bye.
Mandy.
So fun. And really uncovered a memory. I mean, I really forgot about the Wilmer singing thing.
If there's anything that I don't care how much that made it worth it right there, because I would have never remembered. I don't know who else would have ever brought that up that I
Right.
talked to. Just wild.
It was so sincere.
Oh,
And-
God bless him. Oh, Wilmer.
Wilmer, man.
We might have to try to get
To
him
get the song.
on this.
Oh my God, to sing the song.
Because wait, she said she has a tape somewhere.
She has a CD. Yeah, he gave her a
The
recording
CD.
of it. Yeah. Wish we all would have gotten one.
I
you know?
wonder if he's got a copy.
And this was
Wow.
pre like iPhone, you know, it's not like anyone was videotaping it or whatever. It was really a singular experience and a very small room. There's probably only like 12 of us in there, tops.
Yeah. I mean,
And you could hear a pin drop.
a real, you know, close encounter one-on-one with.
Yes, he was like, I'm sure could feel his like breath when he was singing. You know, like he was so close to her and just singing into her soul and eyes and, you know, vagina. I don't know.
It was
profound. And it was uncomfortable to witness. And also, I'm so glad we did.
I did not know what to expect from, I mean, I knew she was going to be sweet and lovely and all that stuff. There's no doubt about that. I didn't know how comfortable or uncomfortable, because me and you are like, we're hilariously enough always on the same page almost in terms of how far we will go down a road, where we take it. There's certainly boundaries, but like me and you are just in sync on that, and not everybody else is.
And we're two idiots, you know, so it's
well, that's
like,
what I mean. We're complete, fucking morons.
Complete fucking morons.
When you put someone like Mandy Moore with us, we are just, you know, the frat and sorority fucking no minds.
I mean, I think it's too nice to say I'm in a sorority. I think I'm in a frat too, you know?
Oh, okay. Well,
I got no, you know, it's mortifying, but
we did. Yeah. So we try to, you know, pull it together, but she was, she was so game, and then offers up that sweetest bit of wild.
Well, that's what was so amazing. The twist of us being like, oh, we got to like retell her this awful story of, you know, where we robbed her of her innocence. And she's like, wait, are you talking about, and then bust that out. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then it just all came flooding back. And it really also just reminded me how much we all used to hang out together with Mandy, with Wilmer. I was always at Wilmer's house because, you know, he's a fellow Venezuelan. And
him and his sister, Marilyn. And then we played I remember we used to go to his house and we would play this sniper game. And you had to like find, like on the video game, you had to find the guy like in the other building and then shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
We would play in like 2 different rooms. Our whole thing was when we found the other guy, just before we'd shoot him, we would just say, goodbye, I love you. And that's when you knew, when you heard it from the other room or in your headsets, you're like, fuck, he's got me. And then your head would be like blown apart. But we would always, it would be like, you're searching, you're talking shit, and then you just hear, goodbye, I love you. And you knew it was game over. It was hilarious.
I love it. Yeah, it used to be so fun. And it's so funny, too, to think that that's like the stuff that we were up to, just like epic Monopoly battles and drinking, not even like Diet Cokes. I mean.
No, I mean, I don't really, those Monopoly, like they were, like that's what we did. And then we would go to Jan's.
Yeah, or Jerry's. Yep, Jerry's Famous Deli and bowl.
Yeah, we'd go there. We'd bowl a lot.
Yep.
I mean, it was the most wholesome little group of like, you know,
the cutest,
famous little kids.
But like not little kids. Like I didn't have like a curfew or anything. Like
no, we could stay out. But I'm just saying, like, you know, still, I mean, adults by the law. But like kids just having fun, like.
We would have so much fun. And then Mandy started dating Wilmer and got, you know, sucked into that group of ours. And
and then experienced all that stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, all just real tragedy. Like between the stripper, the singing, and then the demise of mine and Wilmer's relationship.
I have to say,
for it all.
Yeah, and it's like all these things that are so obvious looking back, but at the time we just didn't see coming, you know?
No.
Like that stripper, I thought she would have read the room, you know, and not picked up dollar bills with her later.
I mean,
you know?
Yeah, but I mean, you know, now we know. Now we know what can happen.
Now we know what to request not happen. I mean, oh boy.
Yeah, I didn't know. I felt like sorry.
He's on his phone right now.
My daughter, I gotta go, you know, pick up my daughter.
What time do your kids get out of school? I'm 2 hours later than you.
For some reason, my oldest didn't have school today. So she's at the barn riding, and
They said at the bar.
she just did a lesson, and then she's got to come back, grab a bite to eat, then she's got to go teach lessons.
Okay.
And then my other kids are off every Friday. They get off at 2:00.
Oh, I hope
I know.
the school is free.
It's wild. But yeah, the stripper.
I mean, honestly.
I mean,
look,
it's still a real, like, I still will just say that was all you. I know you wanted to drag me in on that, and I would have been.
I don't
if
think
was.
you knew a thing about it.
Well, you told me.
I think I may have told you I was doing it, but
Yeah.
I don't think it was my and your. I think it was like Dawn and I. Like please.
Oh,
I loved to throw people parties
the best
and
parties.
surprise them. Like I threw Brendan
The best.
a Brendan's turning 3 party where I hired someone to dress up as Cookie Monster. And the whole thing was like Cookie Monster themed because he liked Cookie Monster as a little kid. And you didn't know. You showed up and it was like, oh, like there's fucking Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
And
we went ice. Was that the ice skating one?
yep. And then a
Yeah.
big bus like took us all ice skating.
Yeah, a big bust. Oh, you did. You threw easily the best party thrower of that I know. And
You could,
around.
so you can imagine my horror.
The Halloween
I-
parties we'd always do, whereas Spider-Man, because my birthday is October 29th, and so we'd always do a combo birthday Halloween party, and they were like, I mean, 100 people, 70
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
like
It was a lot of fun.
big fucking parties, like
Mhm.
catered and all that stuff. Who was the bartender you used to get? The guy.
Well, later in life, I always had this guy, John Concannon, that I absolutely love. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to think then. I did have a party that was such a rager by accident. People started to scale the wall. And the entire bar, all the bartenders quit. So me and my sister had to like get behind the bar and talk about 2 idiots. We're like, all we know is how to make vodka sodas.
Right. Whatever.
Total, yeah.
Mix your
But
own.
yeah, that was what was so upsetting is like I was, in over my skis with the whole stripping world. I didn't, and especially me of all people, like I grew up in Miami, just the grossest place where you should know. And I guess that's what it was, is I was like, well, I'm not in Florida. Like something
Yeah.
awful isn't going to happen. And then she sat on face.
Yeah, she did. Picked up a dollar bill. I will say one of the parties, one of the ballsiest, and I'll say this before I got to go pick up these kids, but one of your parties, Adam Rodriguez was brand new to the show. We didn't really know him. And again, I was kind of an asshole where it's like, I didn't go out of my way I didn't go out of my way to be mean, or to be nice, like I wasn't, what's the word I
Welcoming.
want? Like very inviting. I wasn't like,
Welcome.
hey, you're new on this show. Let me make you feel comfortable. I was like, find your own fucking way. Majandra has a party. It's a Halloween party.
Mm-hmm.
It's at your house. And Adam shows up. I don't know. We have not known him very long. And he's in a trench coat. And I think he's got sunglasses on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I dressed up as Spider-Man every year. I still have the Spider-Man costume with the holes in it. And we're just like, what is this? Like, and he fucking opens it up and he's just got tidy whities on underneath and flashes everybody.
Yep.
And
Flashing people left and right.
it was
What a delight.
wild, where I was like, you don't know us. I would just not have the sack to do that.
And we saw that he did.
And
Also, we do have to remind everyone, this is a person with a body. This man ended up being in the Magic Mike, franchise. I mean, it was like, woo, and you'd get a flash and it was, what a treat.
I mean, I just remember going like, oh, this guy's like, how do you get that? Where's that?
I remember that party, Jake Gyllenhaal came.
Oh.
And he was in a suit. And his costume was a guy with a job. You know, because as actors, none of us ever have jobs.
That's right.
And then Paul Sugarman came in a suit also with a big tag attached to him that said, "To world from God." And he was just God's gift to the world.
Gotta love Sugarman.
Yeah, it was great. It was so much fun. We would have so much fun at those parties. But yeah, that's that party, the party with the you know.
Yeah, birthday.
That was not one of my best.
I mean, but was it?
Yeah.
Was it not in the end? Ish, kind of. I mean, no, but I mean.
No, I think it was. I mean, both. I mean,
It's-
just changes could be made.
And poor Nick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Falling in love with the stripper. It's a movie.
Yeah.
Golly. All right. I'm hanging up. I got stuff to do.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah. Lots.
Anything but this.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
The X-Files with Majandra Delfino.
When Brendan Fehr is a production of Portholes Inc. Media.
Edited and mixed by Stephen Wells.
The music by Fred Corey.